Siema, z tej strony Szalejki, zapraszam was już na przedostatnią część The Cat Lady i poznamy historię kociej wdowy. Mamy wszystko, maskę, mamy nożyczki, mamy śrubokręt. Otworzymy sobie tą puszeczkę. I mamy suknię ślubną.
I think I've got an idea. I know how I could pay Brian back for all that he's done to me and the cats.
Brian? The guy from flat 6, right?
Yes, Brian. That nasty piece of shit. He deserves to be punished, you know. And this wedding dress will be perfect for this. You ever heard the legend of the cat widow?
The cat widow? No, can't say I have.
Well, you're not from around here, but I'm sure Brian knows it. He grew up in this city, just like me.
So, what's it about?
It's an old story about a ghost cat who takes a human form to haunt her killer.
Wow, that's pretty crazy, Mrs. A. Do you really think we can pull it off?
Yes. Yes, of course. We just need to prepare. A good costume will do the job. This dress, we can alter it. We'll need some red paint too.
Are you sure about that?
I promise this will work. And it will give us a chance to check his computer. If he's got one.
Okay, so what do we need?
Well, basically we need 3 things. Red paint. There's a tin here. We could use that. The dress will make a great costume. We just need it in black. Also, it should look damaged. That's important. Cat Widow is a ghost after all. I'll need some scissors for that. This mask I took from Jesse's flat will do the job nicely.
Mamy. Wytarzajmy sukienkę ślubną w węglu. Hangback i scissors.
We need to make some adjustments. Now this is a dress worthy of the Cat Widow.
Why don't you admit it was too small for you?
Ha ha, bloody ha. Why don't you just shut up? Whoever wore this dress probably hadn't eaten in years. You'd struggle to get a skeleton into it.
Okay, so what do we need?
Well, basically, red paint.
To już było.
Yep. This mask I...
Take. No i mamy
This is
wszystko.
it. We've got all we need.
Great! Are you going to tell me about the cat widow now?
Yes, it's story time, Mitzi. The legend says there was once a bad man who hated cats. He hated his neighbours too, and his job. And when it rained, he'd curse and smash things. He hated his bald head and his weak, ugly body. He probably hated himself the most, although he would never admit it.
I think I see where this is going.
One day, out of pure hatred for the whole world and everything that lives, he captured a family of cats and drowned them all in the river. That day, the sun turned black and all the birds went silent as the 6 kittens struggled for life. But, trapped in a strong canvas bag, they never had a chance. They all died that day. All but one. The mother cat, in a desperate fight to set herself free, by pure luck clawed her way out of the bag and swam to the shore. She lost everything that day, her beautiful children and her proud husband. Her heart crashed into pieces as she watched their limp dead bodies stolen by the current. Running after them, she followed them for days, for as long as she could. Then, eventually, she lost sight of them. She stayed on the bank of the river for a while. The world stopped turning for her, her eyes empty and blind. And then, one day, she slowly slid down the bank and into the cold, dark water. She gave in to it. She let the river take her away too, cover her mouth, her ears, her eyes. But as the water filled her lungs, and she started slipping into darkness, there was another strange feeling that burst in her mind like a ball of flames. Anger, rage even. Her last craving, before she drowned, was for revenge, for blood. And so she returned, reborn and changed, a cat widow, veiled in black, mistress of the cats. Her body of a young woman, but her eyes of a cat, and her face, white, rotten, face of a corpse. Those who saw it rarely lived to tell the tale. She would get her revenge on all cat killers and cat torturers, but there was someone she had to see first, someone special, someone she really hated the most.
But I am.
As the evening came, it was strangely quiet in the man's flat. As he lived alone, he usually liked to fill the silence with the sound of radio or TV shows. But that night, he switched them all off, feeling anxious and tired after work. He tried to sleep, but couldn't. And for once, there wasn't anyone there he could blame for it. As he stared through the window, he kept thinking about how much he hated that view. He liked it once, a long time ago, when his wife was still there and they were happy together. Suddenly, he heard knocking on the door. Some part of him was glad, because that meant he could take it out on whoever decided to bother him.
Idź.
There was nobody there. He almost felt disappointed, but before he turned to walk away, he suddenly noticed something down the hall. He noticed a shadow of a cloaked figure standing ahead. He stopped again. He couldn't believe his eyes. Someone wrote "Cat Killer" on his door. He had a passion for trains. Although he hated being a train driver, he had always enjoyed watching them move. But now, his train model was moving all on its own. He was absolutely certain he'd left it switched off, and was, running at crazy speed, remote control missing. Something was seriously wrong, and that something had entered his home now too. He hoped he was just imagining things, tired as he was, but there was another surprise waiting for him in his bedroom. "Cat Widow is here," was written all over the wall. As in a dream, he went to the kitchen to get a drink. There was no water. He knew there were valves in the basement that turned it off, but no one's been down there for years. He felt sick. None of this made any sense. And yet, deep down, he knew what he did to the cats was wrong. There was a part of him that almost wanted to be punished. The part he tried so hard to hide. He thought he'd heard something in the corridor. Was there someone there with him? His head was spinning. He felt ambushed, trapped, like an animal. He had to get out of there. Getting really scared now, he decided to call the police. His phone was of no use. The SIM card had been removed, and that wasn't even the worst part. There was a photo of a black cat set as screensaver. He remembered this cat. He'd watched that strange pest control man put it in a cage and into his van. He'd looked at it through the window for a while, then pulled the curtains and went to bed. He stopped, paralyzed. He'd heard something right in front of him. A whisper, more like a purr. She was there, in the dark corner of his living room, waiting. Black veil covering that pale, dead face. And yet, he could almost feel Cat Widow's eyes piercing through him. She came closer, like a ghost, and swiftly removed the veil. She came back for him, to take him to the river, to make him pay for what he'd done. As he looked into her eyes, he could feel the world spinning around him. His knees go weak, his pants suddenly wet around his crotch. As much as he hated life, he didn't want to die either. Inside, he was just a big, stinking coward. And then he fainted. Did you see his face? I knew he'd fall for this.
Yeah, we scared the living shit out of him. Now that's teamwork. Are you sure you won't know it was you, though?
Oh, he probably will, once he's had time to think about what happened. But he's too proud to ever admit he's been beaten by a woman. I know him just about enough to know that.
Let's hope so. I don't want you to get in trouble because of me.
No. That was something I had to do for myself. And I feel much better for it.
The only problem now is that we still haven't found the Eye of Adam. Because it definitely isn't Brian. I've searched through his laptop, but all I found was a load of porn.
Let's cross him off the list.
Well, that means we've checked everyone. We've hit a brick wall. Perhaps I was wrong. Maybe he doesn't live here at all.
I think we need to sleep on it, and we might get some more ideas in the morning. Shall we head back home?
Yeah, I do feel tired. You're right, we need some sleep. Really wish there was an elevator in this building.
Marudzi trochę.
What's that? A note? What does it say, Mrs. A?
You will not believe it. Meet me at midnight, both of you. I will wait. Flat 5. Door will be open. Do not fear. Eye of Adam.
Flat 5. That's the old guy. Can't be. It can't be him.
I guess we'll find out. At midnight. We've got a few hours until then. Let's get some coffee.
A z ten czub będzie.
It's just you and me, my love. No one will find us here. Stop worrying, Ivy. It will be alright. I will always love you. You know that. I'm gonna make you all better.
The Cat Lady. Ja jestem Szalek i zobaczymy was już na ostatnią część pod tytułem Nie karmić troli. Do zobaczenia.